Yeah, no, exactly what he did. He brings balance to our lineup. He's a tough at bat. He will fight his way through any sort of lull of an at bat or lull of the season. But right now, I think the regular season is far in the past. And you see a really good at bats today by him, along with the rest of our team. And I think that the at bat quality is something that's attractive about him, and he showed it today.
AJ, you obviously know what you're going to get out of a guy like Verlander, but the way he started this game and set the tone, what did that do for you guys today?
Pretty much the same thing it does every time he pitches. He is a big-time, big adrenaline pitcher that never ceases to surprise you or amaze you. It's always he seems to be always there for you. These starts matter to him, and he shows it, wears his emotion on his sleeve. He's ultra-focused and does a really good job of executing a game plan. His fastball today was electric against a really good fastball-hitting club. He landed both breaking balls. If he had had a changeup, he probably doesn't get into the mess that he got into in the sixth inning. So, for him to be able to channel his emotion shows exactly why at this point of his career, why he's one of the most dominant postseason pitchers of all time, and also one of the best current ones.
On the aisle in the middle.
You've run out of adjectives to describe Alex Bregman at this point, but what is it about him that is able to rise to the moment continuously and his growth in this game to get to where he is right now?
Well, I think he's got a calm heartbeat. That's pretty much proven in the really quick career he's had so far. He's very calm, and I love how he describes pressure. He describes pressure as a privilege, and that to me shows someone that gets it, someone that is going to be able to handle the moment. It's amazing to watch him do it time after time after time. We're getting spoiled. Guys aren't supposed to do it at this level, at that rate that he's doing. And it might be a single. It might be the homer to kickstart us today. He got one of the biggest hits in franchise history last year, but it's his calm heartbeat. It's his preparation. It's a combination of the it factor along with his ability.
Allison.
AJ, you kind of foreshadowed what was going to happen during your in-game interview when you said the hitters need to find a way to get the ball off the ground. After that, all of the home runs. How did you see the guys kind of adjusting to Kluber, and what did you see as the
I can't say enough positive things about our at-bats today against Corey Kluber and others. And we just had really good at-bats throughout the year. We had a great game plan going in. The guys stuck to it. They executed. Kluber's not easy, and certainly when you get into these games and emotions start to take over, you can get off that game plan. But the guys did a really good job of just having a good at-bat and letting the next guy have a good at-bat. Obviously, we had some explosive at-bats with the home run, but he's not an easy guy to center up, so you got to be pretty disciplined at what side of the plate you're going to pick. Which of his pitches that move all over the place are you gonna focus on, and don't miss the one or two or three mistakes that come from time to time. So getting that ball elevated in the middle part of the game, I should have told him that at the beginning of the game, but that's better coaching.
On the left.
AJ, with Presley coming in, bases loaded, with that part of the order due up, just how important was it? A couple runs came in, but just to limit the damage to that.
Yeah, no, that inning was spiraling a little bit. JV really only made one bad pitch the entire game. I think the Lindor single, I think he would take back and do something a little different. Ran out of gas a little bit against Brantley. And all we asked Presley to do is come in against, Ramirez and Encarnacion. So about 60-plus homers, almost 70 homers with those guys. So, he can really spin the ball, which in that part of the order we liked. He spun the ball in the dirt to start the at-bat against Ramirez. But one thing about Press that I've seen since we traded for him, he's not going to cave. He's not going to cower. He's not going to panic. He's been, everything that we could have asked for him, more by his ability to spin the ball, and then he's got 96 in his tank. So that feels like the game. We had a little cushion there. JV got in a little trouble, but that game could have easily been tied at the end of that, and we still would have felt like it was successful the way that the inning was starting to spiral out of control. But Press took control of it, goes and sits down. One of the hardest things to do for these relievers is to then sit down for a bit and then go back out there. He goes back out and gets 3 more big outs.
Christy.
With all the talk about the dominance of the pitchers entering this game, would you have expected your team to hit 4 home runs and score 7 runs in a game like this?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if expected is the right word, but I'm proud of our guys. I mean, that's it's a good group of pitchers we face today. Obviously, it's got to continue for the rest of this series, but I kind of expect our guys to put up really good at bats. Yeah, I mean, we as much as I've heard about different opinions about our offense, it's pretty long, it's pretty good, it's pretty potent. Case in point today.
Take 2 more quick ones here, and then Brian, and then we got Justin coming in.
It wasn't a high leverage situation by the time McCullers got into the game, but what did you like, what you saw from him? How important is that going to be moving
Well,
forward?
I want to define high leverage. I mean, again, this is a pretty high leverage every outing these guys have. I mean, with an extended lead, it helped a little bit, but it doesn't feel comfortable in my seat or I think as a pitcher. But what's interesting about that moment, and we expect this stuff out of our guys, but he's only had a couple outings since missing, a pretty significant amount of time. So, I don't think he had his best stuff, but he found the strike zone with some good fastballs. He found enough breaking ball. He had the ball hit at George pretty hard off of Lindor. But I think this is about emotions. He's an emotional guy. He wants the ball in those big spots. He knows he's going to be limited this postseason because of the pitch count. Came in, did his job. I expect him to do it tomorrow too.
Brian.
You had Verlander's performance and Altuve, Bregman, and Springer homer. A lot of star power tonight. Is that kind of what you expected? And once it gets to October, that those best players are going to rise
be
up?
careful with the word expected. I mean, it's what we want. I mean, we've got to fight and claw and battle and compete and do it again tomorrow and then do it again the next day. So we're a confident group, but we're not going to get cocky and think expectations are that we want to win the game. Who contributes in that? I think that's the beauty of our team. It could be anybody. Tomorrow it might be somebody different. And please, somebody mention Maldonado's homer because that was a big one as well, even though it felt like a tack-on run. Those tack-on runs this time of year are pretty huge. So hat tip to him for that one.
I don't know. I've always enjoyed the moment. I think it's something that you don't take for granted. You work so hard for so long, all year long, and you end up here in the playoffs, and you just want to go out there and succeed. And so, I think that's something that the more I've been in the playoffs, the more I understand how important it is. From my first year in the playoffs to having Sean Casey, who came over from the Reds had 10 years in the big leagues and hadn't experienced one playoff game. That's something he told us to kind of put things in perspective. And ever since my rookie year, I've never taken for granted how special it is to be in these situations. And, this is what I work so hard for. I work so hard all offseason, all season to be strong at this time of the year. And to go out there and, be at the top of my game is what it's all about.
On the right side.
To kind of piggyback on that, when you pitch as well as you did in September, how pleased are you to come out here in your first start in the postseason and look as good as you did those first 5 innings?
I'm sorry?
So when you pitch as well as you did in September, how pleased were you to come out here in those first 5 innings and look as good as you did today?
Really pleased. I think you want to set a tone. You want to allow your team to go out there and kind of put up a couple runs and just relax, and was able to do that early in the game. First 5 innings was right where I wanted to be, against a team that's kind of giving me fits. So, like I said yesterday before the game, I think, just making pitches is what it's about in these situations, and was able to do that for the most part today.
Jason.
Justin, there's been so much talk about bullpens and openers in this postseason. You feel like you're kind of the answer to that. How much do you think a starting pitcher like you can put his stamp on a game like this, and how much do you relish that chance?
First off, I don't think I'm the answer. I think our team is the answer. I think we have a lot of really talented starters. But today's game I don't think is my stamp. I did my part. We had Presley come in a huge spot there and was able to shut it down and maintain the lead, and the bullpen did the rest. So, I think today is how you, in my opinion, is how you kind of draw up a team when the starter doesn't go 7, 8, 9 innings. I'm a believer in starting pitching. I think you need it. I think, the more relievers get used every single day, it has an effect, in my opinion. Whether you can sustain that for a year, 2 years, 3 years, throughout October, I don't know. I don't have the answers, but I do believe in innings. I believe in protecting the bullpen, and I believe in the starting pitcher.
We'll go
Weird as that sounds.
here on the aisle, and then to Anthony.
There is an amazing chemistry between you and Martin Maldonado. Can you describe the work that you guys did together tonight?
Yeah, he was fantastic back there. You know, it's like stepping in last year, having to work with Brian McCann, someone who takes so much pride and has so much passion for what he does behind the plate, and what he does offensively comes second. And you saw him hit a big home run tonight, which is icing on the cake, I'm sure, for him. He's pleased that he did a good job back there, calling a good game, calling the right pitches in the right situations, helping us through the ball game. And it's a similar feel with him as it was with me and Brian last year, where you know, I see him in the video room, I see all the work he's putting in to help understand what we want to do as pitchers and get on the right page and right feel. Honestly, it's probably tougher for him because he came over here late, and all the signs and everything that we have, and you know, when I got here with Brian last year, you know, we kind of clicked right away. Martin had to do that with everybody. So, you know, he's got a difficult job, and I think he's thrived at it, and it's been a lot of fun to watch, and I've really enjoyed working with him.
Anthony. On your other side.
I would never speak for you, but I'm guessing your preference would be to finish the sixth in that situation. But with the depth of this bullpen, does it make it easier? And the way those guys have been pitching, the way Presley's been pitching?
Absolutely. You know, I think, you know, we had confidence when he came in. You know, he was able to make pitches and get us out of that jam. You know, yeah, you want to finish the ninth every time I take the ball, but that's just not realistic. You know, I was creeping up around 100 pitches, and they had started to have some good at bats. You know, that third time through. So, you know, I thought it was the right move, and it worked out. It played out perfectly today.
Oh, this is what it's all about. This type of baseball is a blast. Everybody in that clubhouse is living and dying on every pitch. It's fun to play these types of games. All the fans here were unbelievable today. They were in every pitch, loud. Just you gotta love to have the bat in your hands. I mean, you get in these situations, you have to, and that's why I love playing for this team, is because every guy in that clubhouse wants to be up with the game on the line.
Up here in front, Kevin.
Alex, yesterday you spoke so well about the desire to win for this team another World Series. Is this what we saw today, like getting off this kind of quick start? Is this what you meant?
Yeah, I feel like you have to. Winning Game 1's huge. But you know what? The Indians are a tough team, and they're not going to back down at all. So we got to bring this type of energy and this type of competitiveness into every single at bat this series. And earlier in the year, they said our offense really wasn't clicking, and they're right, it wasn't. We weren't really putting the level of quality at bats that we normally do. And today, 1 through 9, it was quality at bat, and when we do that, we're really tough.
Yeah, Kluber obviously is extraordinarily tough. What specifically about the approach today for the team what was working for you guys?
Well, he is very tough. He's got 3+ pitches. He has had a dominant career, and he lives on the edges of the plate. So when he does that, you really just have to go into battle mode, and we did that. And then we're able to hit some pitches over the middle of the plate, hit some of the mistakes, which with guys like him and Carrasco and their team, you don't get a lot of mistakes. They're tough.
Alex, yesterday you talked about how much fun it is to play behind Justin Verlander. So how much fun was it today watching him go out there and do what he did? Oh,
it was a blast. I mean, that's dominance. He has done that since he's been in this uniform, and he turns that dial up when it's the postseason. And I mean, everyone in our clubhouse knows that when he takes the mound, we have a very good chance to win, and we just need to do our part.
Right here in front.
How big of a boost is it for you guys? You talk about the offense, but when you see a Maldonado, you know what you're getting defensively, but he goes yard, and then you get the 2 knocks from Reddick right away, just kind of that extra kick at the end of the lineup.
Yeah, Reddick took some really, really good swings today. I mean, it's a deep lineup. Maldi, big homer for us to add an insurance run right there. It's a deep lineup, and like I said earlier, when we put together quality at bats 1 through 9, it's tough for a pitcher. There's no let up, and like you said, Maldonado's the best defender, and when you get production offensively from him, that's unbelievable.
Honestly, the key was Bregman's hit in the fourth or the fifth, whatever it was. You know, I think whenever you're not hitting the ball or not getting hits, you start to press to try to get hits and make things happen. And he was able to hit one over the heart of the plate, and he didn't miss it.
Allison again. Yeah.
It's only one game, but to be able to take a lead in this series to start off the postseason from a mental standpoint, what kind of lift does that give you guys?
It's huge, for us to come back tomorrow up 1. It makes it easier on us to go out and kind of attack them the way that we want to play and have some fun. Obviously the goal is to head out of here with a sweep, but you never know. I mean, that's a great team over there, so I'm pretty sure that they're going to be fired up to play tomorrow.
Wait for the mic right there.
George, only 3 people have hit home runs in 5 consecutive World Series games. What does it mean to you to have done that, and how difficult is it?
I mean, it's an honor. There's been a ton of great ton of guys to play this game who have had Hall of Fame careers, and a lot of guys who haven't, and for my name to be with some good company is always great. But honestly, I'm happy that I was able to help us win in all of those games and kind of be a spark plug from that standpoint.
When you're seeing Verlander pitch as well as he was pitching early in that game, how critical is it to get him some runs early in that game and give him a lead to work with?
Oh yeah, when he's locked in like that, it's going to be a hard time to score, and for us to spot him 4 and for him to have our back and really slow them down was a huge day for us and a big day for him.
Standing up on the right.
George, what happened in the second inning didn't seem very significant at the time, but Marwin gets hit, or at least his jersey gets hit by that pitch. AJ tells everybody, hey, we're aware of everything going on today. We've got our game face on. And then Corey, he likes to work the inside part of the plate. All of a sudden, he hits 2 guys. It seemed to change things. Did you have that feeling, or?
I don't know. I think he's a guy that likes to attack each side of the plate, up, down, in, out, and I think he let a couple kind of sneak in on some guys, but it really allowed us to kind of attack what he was thrown. He might not have been as sharp as he wanted to be, so I think him hitting Marwin was a good sign, I guess, from an offensive standpoint, and allowed us to attack him, and instead of him kind of having his way with us like he has before.
And how important was it for AJ to let everyone know, hey, we're watching everything. We're on top of our game today.
It's huge. I mean, these are must-win games, and everything has to go right. A lot of guys have to be on the same page. So from the guys that down below who spotted it, because I don't even think Marwin knew he got hit. So it shows that we're all on the same page.
Up here in the front.
George, can you talk a little bit about your evolution in the playoffs from the way it started last year to now how comfortable you are at the plate, and obviously with the 5 straight home runs and 5 straight games, but just overall how it's changed for you from last year to where you are now?
Yeah, I got told last year by Alex Cora, Carlos Heltron, AJ Hinch to go out and kind of just have fun and enjoy the moment for how it is, because you don't ever know if you're ever going to get back here. There's been hundreds of guys to play this game and actually never get to the playoffs. So, for me, it's just another day, just another game. Go out and try and have as much fun as I can, but slow down and kind of understand who's up behind me. I've got the hitting champ from last year, the MVP, Alex Bregman, who's arguably an MVP. So kind of just slowing down, getting myself to first base, and letting the guys who can actually hit.
Take one or two more on the aisle in the center.
Mr. Springer, what is it about you all's clubhouse that radiates so much like positivity and things like that, and it spreads over to a new guy like Maldonado? Because I know for him to be able to get that home run probably took a lot off of him.
Oh yeah, our clubhouse is not like any other clubhouse I've ever seen. I mean, it's fun to come to the park. It's fun to play with each other. All 25 plus guys in there are cheering for the other guy to succeed, and you know, for guys who step in or get traded over here, get called up, you know, I think that they get to see that, and you know having guys like Brian McCann, Jose Altuve to really set the tone of, you know what, go out, have fun, enjoy the day, because at the end of the day, we're in the big leagues and we're playing in front of a great crowd, a great city. So go out and kind of enjoy it. And I think for us, it's all about having fun. And I think in the clubhouse is now starting to spread out onto the field.
Take one more in the back on the right.
Yeah, George, all through the spring, you guys were saying that you knew you couldn't start the season in the World Series or in the playoffs, and all season you've had to deal with those questions. Is there sort of a relief that the playoffs are actually here now and you really are playing for it and you can almost lighten up?
I think so. You know, for our team to accomplish what we did last year is something special for us. But then it adds in you know, and they do it again, which is a great conversation to have. But us as players understand how hard it is to play this game and how much has to go right over the span of 162 plus games. And you know, but for us to come out today and get back to the big stage, you know, the lights get brighter is awesome, because it shows you that, one, we were able to have another successful season. You know, we accomplished our first goal, which was to win the West. You know, I mean, Oakland had a heck of a year and you know, really made us play as hard as what we possibly could every day. And I think for us to kind of understand that this game is hard and it's not going to be handed to us was the best thing for us. So now, you know, that these are the games where you go out, you have fun, you do whatever it is that you have to do to try to help the team win, and whatever happens, happens.